Hello, guys. Today we're joined with Robert Velhorst. I don't know if you pronounced your name correctly, but he is the CEO of Firespace label. And today he's going to be talking a little bit about labels and what are they even about. So tell me, who are you and what you do, man?
Well, thank you, Alan, for having me here. Yeah, Firespace, it's actually Firespace Recordings, is a record label for all kinds of artists in whatever genre you make, or, well, just wherever you are, and you want to make and release music. What I see a lot in the music industry, there's a very big gap between artists that are very big and they have all the resources and whatsoever, and on the other side you have those Facebook groups with massive amount of people that asking so many questions, and it's like island hopping. And what you see is that if that works, then, well, that's great, but I don't see there's a connection that people from here getting to there, whereas the desire here is much bigger than here. So that's where this talk is about, how as an artist, trying to understand the music industry a little bit better. I have to admit it's not a very pretty one, but just knowing how it works should help you in your music career and making a decision of what you will do in the end, and if you want a record label or not.
Yeah,
Because
and I
that's
see. Yeah,
nowadays also a possibility.
yeah. So another question. I see a lot of people are just confused what a record label even is, and they don't know what is the purpose of a record label. So they just spam their content all over the place to the label in hopes of getting promoted. So tell me a little bit about the inside of a record label and what is the purpose of a label in the first place.
Yeah, the sole purpose is actually to make money off your music, of what you have created. Can be a song, can be nowadays also stems, like what you have in Native Instruments, or even sample packs, that kind of stuff. But just figuring out and having ways of making money on your behalf of your music. And the confusion here is that, yes, record labels do promotion, but they only do promotion for their own stuff, for what they only release. That's in contrast to music promoters that do it for whoever submits a song, and there are many confusions start.
So what's one of the confusions you think start in the label industry, I guess? Like, what's one of the confusions?
Well, it starts, of course, with how the music industry works. Like, people that know that they want to submit to release their music and know that these releases want to get promoted, they should go to a record label. If they just want to get more exposure without, making money and that kind of legal contracty stuff, then you should go with your music promoter. And that's the first big difference artists should really know about. Let's say you have a song or music song. We'll call it a song. It's most easy. Here we go. And there are two ways of what you can do next with it. And the first one is a record label, and the second one is, in that case, the music promoter. So those two are your options if you want to get more exposure, and, well, that's in for most artists the final goal, regardless. But here's getting interesting, because where a record label will only be, oops, I'm doing that wrong, is only for making money off your music. That will also be done by promotion. But you have to understand that for sales, the word should be spread out. So what is considered to be for sale? Well, it will be up on music portals like Beatport. Let me make that Beatport in here to make it clear. Here we go. And for the other side, we say, let's say Spotify streams. And of course there's promotion involved, but the promotion will be going for, hey, our music is out of Beatport, or the release is on Spotify, go check it out. And then later down the road, there might be a place involved that is actually music promotion channels. But again, these promotions, oops, go here, yeah. These promotions is only for releases by the record label. If you're not with the record label, then yeah, there won't be any promotion involved by the record label. And they of course will promote on your behalf. So you just made a song and the record label will do the rest. Whereas for the music promoter, you send their music, they will judge it, and if they like it, they will put it up, and well, that's it. Then there's nothing left there. And you're going to do the whole thingy again, because there are many music promoters. For a record label, they will make money from your sales, so they will go to many music promotion channels, and they will do it on your behalf. So there's a lot of hours in this that you don't have to do here. And here you make money from your music, and here that depends. But that's a story for another time. Usually, if you're going from here, most people don't make money from their music, and when you go here, you will. And that's the first difference between a record label and a music promoter.
What does it take to get signed into a label? And what does it take to get signed into a music, not signed, but like get promoted on a music production, a promotion channel?
Well, first of all, you get answers like you have to need good music and that kind of stuff. And sure, that does help. But what most people forget, and if we're going to look back to, let's say, the 70s, 80s, and even the 90s, we have very much iconic people that have truly a message, that are truly doing more than just making music. They use the music as an extension of the story they want to tell. Not to go to be very personal here. Everybody has its own feelings in the music, but it's sometimes very hard to take, for example, a random big room song and to find out, wait, what's the story behind that?
Yeah.
Perhaps the story in big room songs is that there's no story at all involved. That could be something as well.
Well, big room is initially just a dance music genre where just people rave out in a club or something. So
yeah, but those songs, though, they usually are sometimes getting very big because of a very popular melody line and that kind of stuff. But they never going to stick like songs with vocals and people behind it that truly have a story, that are more than just music makers that you see in interviews and that kind of stuff. They have a story to tell, and people can identify themselves with. They can work better. They can turn their bad days into good days by just listening to their idol, by listening to their artist. And that's where many record labels are looking for a person that's not only capable of making great music, but is also acting as an example for many other people. That can spread a message, or that they can spread a message on behalf of others that cannot. And it's a story both from a technical point of view and from the heart kind of view. Whatever it is, even if you're not on that level at the beginning, just submit your music and be kind, be polite, be understanding, and willing to learn, and willing to help others. Those are usually the best, your best bet to get on good standing with a record label, regardless if you're rejected or not.
All right, so let's say I'm a beginner, I'm just starting off and I want to get my music promoted out there. What should I go for? Should I go for a record label, or should I go for a promotion channel at the beginning? What would be the best choice in this case?
That's actually a good question. I would say the record label is your last station. So whenever everything else and music promotion is like also in the late game of what you should do, then you're really expressing yourself to the outside, so expressing yourself to others. If you're really beginning, start with friends, start with forums like the Facebook groups, but also online. If I may say, I like futureproducers.com a lot, um, and asking people from feedback there. Just have a small core of producer friends that working together with each other, and when eventually you get to a point like, hey, I have a song finished, I'm like, this is it, this is done, then you can either go to a music promotion channel or to a record label, because a record label only wants finished music that they don't have to do anything with anymore, except making money
What do you
from it.
think? What do you think? Should I, for example, go to a promotion channel first, get my song promoted on there, and then reach out to the record label once it already, got the traffic, got the views, whatever. You know what I mean?
It does help.
It does help.
Look,
Okay.
it's like, so it's social proof, as they call it. Like if a record label does reject you, but they find out that you're promoted by, for example, Mr. Suicide Sheep, then they're like, okay, perhaps we should reconsider our judgment on that. Um, but it does help. Let's keep it at that.
And let's see, like a lot of people are confused how to reach out to a record label in the first place. Well, as we discussed earlier, there's contact, so to speak, step-by-step guide how to contact them. They explain you how to contact you, submit that, you type in that. But what if they just have an email? Some people just go like, hey, check out my stuff, blah blah blah, send a link, done. But those emails usually just get filtered out and never are seen in the first place. How do you stand out from the crowd and make it into the label's eyes, so to speak?
Yeah, that's indeed one of the biggest difficult questions people get asked. And the first thing you want to have is truly a song that is finished. Like the more it's finished, like a record label can work on it just right off the bat, going into a sale process, the better. In that regard, many record labels do listen to all demo submissions that come in, but they don't reply to all messages. Only do those that are truly done, finished, they can work with. So the magic here is just by having a finished product will most likely increase your chances. Then, of course, you get to the point of where to send your music to, and that's different for every record label. Some want a streaming link. Most of us want it in the first place, but it's very important to do it in the way that the record label wants to have the demo submission. So if that's through SoundCloud, you have to submit it through SoundCloud. If they want to go it from demo drop, then you have to send it through demo drop. And don't be foolish to try it another way, because that's an instant ban.
Okay.
Yeah, they can be very strict. Mostly the bigger ones are very strict on that. The smaller ones, not so much. But again, don't take my word for granted. Just do as the record label says, because after all, an artist needs to be in good standing with them. You need them eventually, so it's better to listen to them first. How horrible it sounds. Then when you have found the right way of sending music, there's always an email address. Let's put it at there. So always an email address that is used for the demo submissions, and it varies from record label to record label what it would be. Some have demo at record label name, others have it to info at record label name, that kind of stuff. It varies. But let's say you found it. Then you send a short email, like perhaps between 12 to 15 phrases in total, which includes a short introduction of yourself with your name, what you're producing or who you with influenced by. Um, of course, a compliment to the record label never hurts, because they make also very long days. Then a streaming link to your song. Of course, make it so that the song is finished, and perhaps even downloadable. Um, SoundCloud is very useful for that. And then close it with what is called a passive active calling. And by that I mean that you're still saying like, hey, I would love to hear from you guys, or I appreciate to have a reply from you, something along those lines. So the record label gets an incentive to truly give you some feedback, regardless if you're accepted or rejected. And then close it with your name, and below that add your Facebook link so they can check your social media presence. And that's it. Then it's a waiting game.
Yeah, but what about the title? You know, most people just name it demo submission, demo, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, when a person who checks the demo box looks at that and every single title is the same, how do you, like, stand out from the other titles and, like, pop up and be like, oh, okay, I want to click on that title first, you know?
Yeah, so take what you're saying, for example. How should an email look like? Let's make a visual out of it. Let's go for a song from me. Well, my name is very own, so I should make it into demo submission. And then you go for your artist name and then the track title. In this case, for example, we call it track title. It's very important to state here also what your song is. In case you have a remix, you want to make it into a remix. But usually people have original work, so you can just call it an original mix, something along those lines. Then you start with Dear Record Label, and whatever that would be. You talk a little bit about yourself. My name is Robert, also known as Furion, like that. And I would like to release my song, and then put in here again the track title, what you have, title with you. I love your music, especially, and then here comes a good hint to know to let record labels know you're up to date is by knowing to address something that's a really recent release. So, for example, Alan has released song. You have a released song, Alan. Well, what's your song you've released? Just growth.
Yeah, growth.
Like that, especially like so. And this makes it very clear for the record label that you're following them quite accurately and you know what they are up to. So doing that, you're putting in here the SoundCloud link with link like so. Or if you want to make it a little bit more neat, here is my demo, including download, like so. And then we are closing with thank you for your time or listening. There are various ways of closing an email. I would love to hear from you. And then depending of how you want to do it, this is the more most neat way. Yours sincerely, and then your name. In my case, Robert Velhorst, aka Freyo. But you can skip that last part. Depends on what you want to do. But this is all possible. And of course, here the Facebook link. Almost forgot that. It would be looking like this, or close to it. Having this all in there, of course, there are slight variations possible, but this would give you a good first impression. That's where it all is all about, a good first impression. Whatever you do, never ever send it to record labels, to 2 or more record labels simultaneously. That's really a big problem if you do that, because a record label gets like a first and exclusive dip on your music. And if you send it to 2 record labels, like the same message to 2 record labels, and they both say yes, you have a problem, because then one of them has to be disappointed, and you really don't want to do that. So just give record labels like 7 days time. Start with the one you want to the most, and then work your way down to the second, third, fourth option. And then of course send them this email, but never let them know you've tried it with an other record label, and always let other record labels know that you're not eventually interested anymore, because, well, they took a too long time. I will get to that later, because there's more to it, why you shouldn't do that. Just remember, send it to one record label, give them like 1 week time to respond. If not, send them a follow-up email, just being as neat as and correct as this one. And then after the time, after let's say 2 weeks, you haven't heard of them, then you can be confident that they don't want it, and you go to the next one.
Well, yeah, that's again the case of spamming, spamming your content all over the place. So, as he said, just send to one record label and wait for it. If they don't respond, move on to another one, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
but also do give them time. So just send it once, and then wait for 1 week. Then send one follow-up email, and if they don't reply to that follow-up email, then go on to the next one.
And another question, what do you think are the advantages? For example, again, I'm just starting off, I don't have any followers, I send a demo to a label. What are the chances of my song being released in comparison with other people with more followers?
That's also a good question. There are a lot of variables involved, I have to admit, but probably the most important for most people is to have a good social media presence. And with that, I also mean, and I should open up some of my own channels as very own, for example here, is to have at least an avatar and a header perhaps, and having that the same on your other channels. But as you can see, the same avatar on all the spaces. Be consistent in your image, being consistent in what you're doing. So in case of SoundCloud, have a neat little description there with your links in there, so people can easily follow you, and cross-link that. So in Facebook, in the About page, there should be links that go to Twitter and SoundCloud, and back and forth. And having these kinds of information available does show that you're serious about it, that you are looking to get to getting released, and you're ready for the big picture.
Mm-hmm. And just I know this, but for other people, for example, I get my track released, blah blah blah. They make money off of it, correct? But do I make money off of it?
Yeah, you should always make money off of it, and most record labels nowadays do it by a split. So let's say there's 100 euros, then the record label gets a percentage and you getting a percentage. And there might be a threshold involved, like you have at least to get to that level of amount, let's say 20 euros of the 100 to getting paid out. But there are slight variations in that possible, which is better to have a topic about totally dedicated to that. later, because it's a very complex matter, and I also have to draw it out first.
Okay.
But yeah, the bottom line is that you are getting money from releases. If the record label is doing their work, there will be sales, and of course, a stream at Spotify is also a sale, regardless if you are having your release out right now or in 5 years later, when it's considered to be old or a classic.
1 year is
You can
old.
still
1
make.
month is old already. So.
I don't believe in that.
Well, I know, like most people think that 1 year is okay. The track is all, especially EDM music right now. Pop music is kind of infinite right now, but the EDM music it gets outdated really fast because the genre is moving so fastly forwards. So many new genres appear, and the old genres are just kind of fading out slowly. So that's
Yeah, personally, I don't believe in that. Like, what is a good song? I will listen to that, regardless of what kind of genre and what time. It's all about the mood and what it brings to you. And I really don't care about the age of a song. Even for, let's say in my case as a record label, when I get demo submissions and I see it like it's 1 year old for an upload, if it's still a good song, it's still a good song. And if the person wants it released and it fits with everything that we as record label have stated that it should be, then it's getting released. And I don't know where it's coming from, that, how should I say, that expiry date on music, but it's not food.
Yeah.
So we should not put an expiry date on it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, initially we talked about everything. Do you want to sum it up somehow and tell any last words about what people should know?
As record label owner, I see a lot of people that are sending unfinished work. Like, that's the majority of demo submissions I get nowadays. And a big issue is that they consider a record label to be like their helper to make it finish their music, which it is not. A record label is all about when everything is finished, and it should get commercialized. It should get getting money from it. So where do you get the feedback from? Gather around some friends, some producer friends, and help each other out. Listen to each other tracks first, and pinpoint all the deals. Like, I would do this like that and do like that. So you get to a final package, to a final product, and then submit it to a record label. That would be the most important advice I could give right now. And yeah, as summary, stay polite, have a story, even though that might be for some people difficult. Just think of ways you can help somebody else by making music, by telling their story instead. That will help and make people smile, for sure. And you get, of course, a bigger fan base.
All right. Well, dude, thank you for your time, man. We spent around 30 minutes here just talking about labels, and hopefully you guys are going to learn something new from this and get released on labels soon. So thank you for watching. This has been Robert, Alan. Peace out, guys. Boom.
Bye-bye.